All right.
Okay.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Today we celebrate what I believe is my first video that won't be demonetized for the month of June.
Wait, it's July.
July, I mean. And probably June.
Cheers.
So I think this is the only video where I'm not going to be using crazy music and fancy edits. No lie, every one of my videos this month is demonetized from that. People ask me all the time, how do you find your music and not get demonetized? It gets demonetized. All of it.
As long as it's not blocked.
Yeah, it just can't, that's my only stipulation. It can't be blocked because everyone needs to be able to view it. But for me, when I'm editing a video, it's creativity and quality over everything. So, RIP monetization. So check it out, guys. Long time coming here, about 3 weeks out from my competition.
Yes.
I put on Instagram for you guys to ask me questions about relationships during contest prep, which is a very serious topic for everybody. And we kept debating on when to do it. We were initially going to do it that week, 3 weeks out. But then we noticed 3 weeks into 2 weeks, that was a whole different adaptation itself. Then we're like, all right, well, we learned a lot about our relationship and everything. Let's give it another week. And then another week, more changes. And we realized that, like, we wanted to get the entire prep down to peak week done and under our belts first before we spoke on it, so we could have all the experience. And here we are, 3 weeks after the show, and we're gonna answer your questions. Quick warning, these are mature questions and answers here for adults. You've been forewarned. I'm gonna just dive into starting with the first one, going right to the newest. Sex. How do you deal with the loss of drive and maintaining good balance? Really fast before we dive into the answer to that, clarification for anyone wondering, when you diet for a competition, not a regular beach cut, not just trying to get the abs out, a full-on contest prep where you get into single-digit body fat, 2 ways you're gonna lose your libido, men and women. Happens to everybody, almost everybody, especially when you're natural. One, you just lose energy because your body's in starvation mode, you're on low calories, you're burning calories like crazy. This won't happen when you're 12%, 10%, it's only at the final stretch of the show, but you get low enough in body fat and your calories are low enough where your body really believes it's in starvation mode and it starts shutting things down that burn energy. You'll notice it. They did studies that even found you blink slower, you fidget less, your body just tries to slow down everything. And along with that is the urge for sex. So physically you should still be able to get everything moving correctly. You're just not gonna have an interest in it because you're just gonna be drained down to the core. So that's like the main issue. The other issue could be if you diet incorrectly and you really mess up your hormones, then you might actually deal with some physical issues there. And that's a lot more serious. That's something I've fortunately never dealt with. If that is the case, you should get off your diet immediately and get that under control. Anyway, to answer the question.
I've literally never talked about anything like sexually related on camera, so this is new for me too. This is also mature talk.
We didn't really deal with it until like the final, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
I would say like 3, well, I mean, you get tired before then. But the biggest thing is, that was really never the issue when you were on prep, because of the fact that you never made me feel unwanted. So even though like your sex drive wasn't what it normally is, I didn't take it personally, one, because I understood what was going on with your body and you were super open about it. You communicated with me really well before you even began dieting. Super helpful to me because then I wasn't like, what is wrong with me type of thing. And then also you always went out of your way to make sure that I felt loved. Like you would just try to eat dinner with me if it was like your last meal. Like you still made time for me in ways outside of the bedroom. So you never made me feel unwanted. And I think that was the biggest thing, because if you were just like tunnel vision, which I always support you and I always want you to be focused on your goal, but if it was only like tunnel vision, this is all that matters to me right now, and you just like brushed me off to the side, then I think it probably would have become a bigger problem. But because you were so aware of it and so on top of it from the beginning, I don't know, I didn't really feel affected by it at all.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, communication's key, which I did make sure to do. Like we had many chats before the prep even started.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, it'll be fine for this many weeks, but this may happen the final stretch of it. These things can happen. And so I made it communication's key. Let your partner know what they're in for with the prep. And then 2 was, like she said, still nurture your relationship.
Yeah.
If you don't have the energy, I mean, because understand you're in a relationship and the prep's not going to be forever. So even though you don't have the energy for everything, still put some effort forth. And for me, for my personal 2 cents, I didn't have a major problem with it. It was really only, I think, at 3 weeks out, because as you guys know, I was double timing everything. 3 weeks out when I started getting fucking dizzy every day, that's when I just kind of lost. I just didn't, like, everything worked fine, and there'd be a couple of high carb days where things would come back to life. But it's like the regular day-to-day grind, it's like we could get it working if I applied myself, but sex is not in your forefront. You're just so drained. You don't want to do anything but like sleep and eat, and you can't really eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Does Ariana like your body more when you are bulking or when you are shredded? This is interesting now, because I know she used to hate it when I was shredded, because I was like a little boy. But 3 years of powerlifting and finally just being 28, so I think I'm maturing.
Yeah.
I actually, usually I hate my shredded physique. I actually liked myself shredded this time, just because I held on to more mass, had more muscle maturity. What's your answer?
I like you in between. Like, if you hung around, like, I think 186 to, like, 190 right now, just because of, like, you built up your muscle, your face has matured since we started dating. Like, when you did that first cut for Isotory, I was like, who is this? Like, looking back at the videos from Cabo, I was like, it looked like I was there with a 12-year-old.
Oh my God, it's true.
So, I like you in, like, the healthy range. I don't like the shredded look. Mm-hmm. I love big arms. I'm just like, big arms is just life. So, I care more about your arms and, like, your muscles than your abs. Abs are not difficult to get, ladies and gentlemen. That is not new. Everyone should already know that. I, like, got abs when I was, like, 12. So, it's just... I don't know, there's just something much more attractive to me. I find it so much sexier on a guy when he just has huge arms. So I like you when you have like a really healthy belly, with, like a little bit of abs like poking through, so you can. It's not like just flat. It looks like tight, but it's not
like a classic power belly, like a strength belly.
Yes. But you look manly. That's what I like. So somewhere in between. I don't want like a sloppy like power lifter body, which is such a dumb stereotype to have to begin with. Like, look at like Russ Swole.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for real.
He's the world champion.
Larry Wheels. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I like you somewhere in between now.
I agree. I like that answer. Let's see. How does Ariana put up with you when you're on low carbs?
Well, once again, we've been through quite a few diets together.
Yes.
So, okay, first of all, he loves low carbs and he responds really well to low carbs. If you gave me low carbs, I would probably just off myself. So, he's like the opposite of me. He feels better on lower carbs. So, I'd see him even have like these high carb days, and you'd be excited in the morning, then by like 5 o'clock, you're like, I fucking hate high carb days. So, how do I deal with you on low carbs? It wasn't really an issue. I mean, we've been through a few diets now together. And back in the day, you were just, both of us were immature in our own ways. But you were definitely more immature with the diet. So you didn't like, one time you were like, don't come over, I don't feel like seeing you. Like, you didn't see me all weekend. Do you remember you brought me flowers on Monday at work? So you and I have grown a lot together. So, I mean, you weren't really cranky. I feel like everything I'm saying, I just sound like I'm like the luckiest person to have a boyfriend that was so on top of prep. But I think the biggest thing for a partner in a relationship is to try to be understanding, because obviously your main goal is to see your partner succeed, to see your partner be happy. So if they are like really, really awful to you, maybe try talking to them about it on a different day. Don't do it on the same day. That would be my recommendation. Yeah. Because I don't think I ever did that to you if you were super cranky.
I'd be after the fact. And I think another big factor that made a huge difference was, like she said, we both kind of matured in a way where I matured in the sense, everyone gets snappy and cranky during dieting. But now I got to a point where I'm 28 and I'm like, all right, Nick, you're choosing to do this. Like, don't be a little bitch about it. Just suck it up. You're dieting. It's not the end of the world. And I just, I think before I spoke, and I didn't feel as miserable in this diet. It just felt, it was cool. I went to like more of a zen place. And the other thing was also she also grew up and matured. She, just by becoming older and more of an adult like we both are, she has more confidence in herself these days. So she was actually able to be more supportive about the diet, which made a huge difference, I realized. Like little subtle things you don't think about. If you're like, I just want to fucking go eat a burger right now, and your partner cracks a sarcastic joke like, let's go do it, babe, I'm down. I'm over this diet anyway. Like, it's just a joke, but if they constantly make jokes like that, it really adds up in the back of your mind and starts stressing you out. Because now you're like, oh I'm stressing my partner out. She wants me to end this. I want to be out of this thing. Instead, she was super supportive. And I realized there were very few days where I was like miserable. I was pretty damn content the whole diet.
Yeah.
Next question. What if your girl eats junk food all the time? Well, communication's key, like I said. So like if it's gonna be excessive, like it's a balance. If there was something that was just so extreme, like her mom would make tacos, which is funny. That's not even the junkiest thing, like health-wise. But for me, it was just the biggest tease because the aroma was just amazing.
Yeah.
They were so plentiful. Like that was her cookies and her chocolate milk. They didn't bother me.
I did get those out of the house though.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. But I'm saying, but for the big things, I would just tell her like, hey, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you feel like, you know, try to word it like a joke, word it lightly. If you feel like you want to eat over there at your parents' house, instead of bringing those tacos home, be my guest. And she kind of get the hint. She's like, all right, babe, I'll eat them over here. I won't do that to you. But of course, you know, your partner's not dieting. She has to be able to live her life. She can't shut her life down without you. There was a period when I was first adapting into the diet, when I was still getting the cravings out of my system. I have allergies. And I was really having a hard time with her cookies, man. I start sneaking the cookies or want to sneak them. She just got the cookies out of the house for me.
Yeah.
Nothing to say about that. I had a supportive ass partner who was willing to cut cookies out of her daily routine for my sake. You either have a supportive partner like that or you don't. There's not much to say about that. But of course, I had to do my part, and I couldn't have her live like that the whole prep. That's not fair to her. So after a few weeks, once I got used to it, I said, hey, bring your cookies back in. It's all good.
Yeah.
Then when she did eat, the best piece of advice, man, is the piece of advice for you as the dieter, try to time your meals around whenever they're eating. If they're going to eat something junky, at least try to make a meal for yourself so you can at least be eating and satiate yourself while they're eating their junk. It makes it a little bit easier than if you're sitting there starving, smelling it, and watching it.
And I didn't eat after you came home from the Stairmaster, because one time I didn't realize that, and I had like a cookie with my chocolate milk, my chocolate almond milk.
The Stairmaster is when I crashed, if you don't remember. My energy levels crashed, my cravings went up, my willpower went down, and my misery went sky high.
So you didn't say anything the whole time, and I felt really bad because I could tell that you were just like uncomfortable and it was tough. And you just said to me, can you please not eat that just after the Stairmaster? I don't care if you eat it any other time in front of me, but just please not after the Stairmaster.
After my second set of cardio, yeah. So that's really what it's about, man. And then like, my advice for the partner would be to compromise as much as you're comfortable compromising like that.
Yeah.
And also Ariana did like little cool things that really made me smile. Like I'd be sitting there like, oh, that looks so good. I'm so jealous. And she'd literally be like, well, that's why you're making the money and I'm not, Pants. I mean, she has money, but it was just a very nice compliment. It was just like, you're doing this for a business for yourself.
Yes.
The reason what you're doing right now is paying for this roof over our heads. Like, it sounds corny now, but like when you're just dying and your will is weak and you're in a prep, hearing like a nice little compliment from your partner whose opinion you take seriously like that, really like, I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's why I'm on this diet. It made it better. Cheat meal or sex? What's more tempting? Go.
Probably a cheat meal.
Yeah, definitely a cheat meal.
Oh, like if I had like dairy and I had to take like 6 lactate, that's probably more tempting than sex.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Is it good or bad to have intercourse when you... I don't know, that made me crack up. It's just so proper. Is it good or bad to perform coitus when you are several weeks before a show? It's not bad at all. That old like boxing myth, like don't masturbate or anything before a fight. It's all BS.
How old is that myth?
Old school, but it's fine. It's nothing happens from that. You're good. Do it or don't. Whatever. Does being in a relationship make it difficult to stay on the grind during a cut? It can, yes. Actually, you know what? To be very honest, I would say yes. Even if you have, I think I'm blessed. I think I have literally the best case scenario I could possibly have for a relationship. I think I'm lucky. I know for a fact, because I've done shows since I was 15 and I'm 28 now. And I've been through many relationships while doing it. And I know from experience, I have one of the best case scenarios I could ever wish for right now. Like, this was incredible. She made this prep easier than I could have imagined it. And in some ways, she made the prep better than if I didn't have a relationship, because her support really lit a fire under my ass, which is amazing to have. But at the end of the day, the problem is bodybuilding is just a selfish sport. Prep life is a very selfish sport. It's moderately unhealthy. It puts you into this tunnel vision, this obsession with yourself. You're suffering, you're hungry, you're cranky. You know, so at the end of the day, tending to a relationship, no matter how easy it is it's always going to be an extra effort on top of what you're already going through with prep. So I think on paper, yes, it's always going to be technically easier to do a prep just completely solo. And I think that's probably the case for any extreme sport you ever do. Anything extreme, honestly, you do, I think.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think there's any sport. Wrestling, you're better off wrestling, like single. MMA, music.
No, I totally agree with you. Someone did say to me one time, though, before I was in my car accident and I was wrestling, they said to me, like, you need to have a life outside of wrestling. Because I had said to them, this is my whole life. And they were like, you can't make one thing your life, like, because it's just not healthy to do. Like, it's fine to be completely obsessed with something and think about it 24/7, but I totally understood what that person was saying, especially now that I've, like, taken a step back and seen you through this prep. I mean, yeah, it's always going to seem easier to be single and just focus on that one thing, but you do need other things because, like, you don't go to sleep at night, like, in a gym.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go to sleep at night in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Type thing, so.
I think if you can get a healthy relationship that's supportive, I think that's the best thing ever. But ultimately, I think the on-paper answer most times probably yes. That doesn't mean it's a good thing for your life in general, though. Yeah,
or like don't break up with your...
Yeah, don't break up with someone over a fucking bodybuilding prep. That's dumb. Don't do that.
And you'll figure out, like, if because it's tough prep. So you'll learn through that difficult time whether or not the relationship can last.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times it can't. Does it help if Ariana is dieting as well, or does it not make a difference? It's worse if she's dieting. We tried it briefly, just like not really for weight or body composition. She's not trying to be stepping on stage, but literally just to switch it up, see how her body responded to different diets or whatever. And she did it while I was doing it, and it's horrible.
Oh, it was the worst idea, like, 2 people have ever come up with.
I don't think in general, me and Kyle talked about this in the podcast, sometimes it can help a little bit if one person's dieting lightly and they like dieting and they're just into healthier eating while you're in a full-on prep. That can be a little helpful because then the other person's not going to cheat. You guys can both stay healthy together, sacrifice together. I do think that's like very much the minority, though. I think for most of the time, most cases, if you have 2 people prepping, you're going to have 2 cranky, selfish assholes at each other's throat the whole prep. So one person should stay fat, happy, and sane while the other one dies. My body is made for powerlifting. Quotations. Round in design. No question for me. How do you handle not going out as much, and what did you do when you did go out? So the short answer from my end is when I'm doing like a photo shoot cut or a casual cut, we'd go out and I just leave enough macros in for some drinks or whatever. I'd keep, or I'd fast pretty much all day and just save my calories for the end of the night. For a contest prep though, we cut all that out. I don't go out. I track and weigh everything at home. I don't eat out. You can answer how you dealt with that.
Well, I'm kind of a homebody these days. I mean, the most difficult thing for, like, me personally is when you and I go out, we love to do, like, dinner and drinks.
Yes.
I just love one-on-one time with you. Like, you're my best friend.
We're so antisocial together.
Yeah. So, and then, like, there would be times when I'd have friends, like, invite me out and I'd be like, no, I'm all set. Like, I didn't really have an interest. I feel like I was on the journey with you, too, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't know,
She did take on, it was weird, she got into like the zone with me to where she was almost on the same sort of schedule where like, so if I couldn't go, it was a Saturday night, a normal date night, and I couldn't go out, she would like jump on like making herself busy, like she has a lot of shit going on, she's working on behind the scenes, she'd go and work on that for hours on end.
Yeah, I definitely entertain myself. Like I'm really good at keeping myself busy. I love reading. Like he said, I'm working on a really big project. I'm getting into makeup, so I'd like take Saturdays if I wasn't doing anything, because I usually don't go to the gym, and I just like play with makeup for the day, or I'm like really into crystals now. So obviously sometimes I'd have those like moments of like, oh, I want to go out, but it was so fleeting, it would be gone within like 5 minutes. And then you would do things for me too, like you'd get like salmon, and then you'd have like a salmon and salad, and then you would make us dinner.
I cooked these really fancy dinners, so it felt like a date night.
Yeah.
This was something different and fancy, and like use seasonings, but it was also food that I could very easily measure out and eat for myself on my diet.
And then like one time you took me out for ice cream.
Yep, I got her ice cream. I didn't have anything, but I was in good spirits. I was totally content.
And then we went to like ENAC to shoot a posing update. So.
Yeah. Our date night was getting her ice cream while I sat there, and then she went and helped me film an update at ENAC.
Which was
for
great.
A video.
So it wasn't really difficult, honestly. My biggest advice would just be to try and keep yourself busy if you're with someone who's in a contest prep, but in turn, also try to make sure that your partner, like, you try to do little things for your partner. Like, if you can, like, throw in, like, a salmon dinner or something like that.
Or make sure you sit down and eat together. Fucking, if you have to eat a little thing of chicken, make her something, light a little candle, have a little, make believe you're having like a little date night, even if you have to have water or diet soda in your thing. How to make her understand how badly you want it. And I'm assuming that means the goal of the bodybuilding show. That's a tough one because we've been together for so damn long now. Man, just communication. You just have to. People are so bad at communicating in relationships.
It's mind-blowing.
You just have to communicate. You cannot be like, I want this. Whatever, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Babe, you don't get it. I'm like, and let shit boil up.
Like,
and then,
obviously, like, you can't say you don't get it, because obviously, no, you won't fucking get it if you just say you don't get it. Like, you have to explain it. Like, you explain, before you started, like, the dieting, like, when you signed up for summer shredding, because when we first started dating, you were like, I don't know if I'm going to do bodybuilding again. Like, you were so, which you went into already. But that was, like, the wavelength that you were on when we got together. So I said, why are you doing this? Because I was just curious. I wasn't mad. I wanted to know why, especially going into it. And then you took the time to explain it to me. And it made so much sense. And I was like, okay, let's do it. But you can't just, like, get on something. Like, you have to try to explain as best as you can.
And you can't sugarcoat it either, too. Because, like, that's another mistake I've seen, too. People will kind of like, I signed up for the show. Not really make a big deal about it. Not really, we're going to kick ass. And then diet time finally comes. And then your partner's sitting there like, wait, you mean you can't eat dinner with me anymore?
Yeah.
Wait, you can't go out with me anymore? I didn't know it was going to be like this. Like, you got to tell them, like, I said from the very start, like, it's going to be like hell at certain points. It's going to suck. Like, it's going to be life's going to be shut down. I even had her move in. I moved her into my place because I wasn't going to be able to see her very often because I don't like leaving the house when I'm on prep. Like, and we counted down to be like 5, we go out on a date, like, only 5 more weeks of this, only 3 more weeks of this. Like, get your partner on board with what's about to come.
And just be honest about your goal, whatever that is. Like, you could, if you've been dying to get on stage your whole life, then tell them that. Don't just say, I want to do it for me. Like, just be honest with yourself and then with your partner, because honesty is just the biggest thing.
It's communication, man. Just fucking communicate. Talk. Communicate. Like the way you would talk to a diary. Communicate everything. Yeah. And then, honestly, I'm going to leave it off with this note. That was the last question for now. I'm going to leave it off on this note. I think, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, at the end of the day, man, you either have a supportive partner or you don't. You can have somebody who may not be super supportive now, and they might grow into becoming supportive. That comes from, like we said, communication and growth, growing together. People mature, people grow up. Yes. I've grown, she's grown. Back in the day, 6 years ago when we first started dating, this prep wouldn't have fucking worked. This would have been the end of our relationship. We're 2 different people back then. Yeah. I was super intense and selfish. She was younger, I'd never dealt with like a serious relationship and a goal like that. It would have been way different. She wouldn't know how to support me. I wouldn't know how to have communicated with her and be fair to her. It would have been a mess. But like, we both grew into becoming supportive. But some people are just assholes. Or some people just are never going to be compatible with you in your life. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like you either have a relationship that's going to be supportive and positive, or you have one it's bodybuilding especially is just going to rip it to shreds.
And I think you'll know too, like in your heart, whether or not they're really supportive and they're just immature and they need to grow as a person, or they're just not for you. Because someone, I've been immature in the past, and I've grown a lot, which I'm super proud of, and I know you're happy about. We've both grown together. And I would have moments where I didn't always seem supportive looking back now, but I think you knew in your heart that I was never trying to be unsupportive to you.
Well, the biggest thing...
It was just like an immaturity and like insecurity thing.
Yeah, and the biggest difference was there'd be a lot of things she would do that were very supportive. Yes. She would do things that I don't even... we've been dating for 100 years. I don't remember examples, but there would be like certain things she would do that were just so blatantly, like no one in their right mind would ever do it for somebody. Yeah. Unless they loved and supported them, and she would do them. It'd be mind-blowing. So then she would turn around here and there, and there'd be just like something that she would get insecure about, or just like, it'd just be something dumb that would like end up not being supportive. But it was never a deal breaker because I could only see through that. I was like, all right, well, she's acting like an idiot here, but she did this and this. Like, no one like in their right mind would do that for somebody unless they loved them or supported them. So, and then in turn, same with me. Like, I'm very, very extreme, very tunnel vision, and I'm very selfish. Very selfish. So it's like, if back in the day, at the same token, she would be a little bit less supportive, maybe here and there by accident. At the same time, I would suck at communicating. I wouldn't be like, hey, let me bring you into this as a partnership. Let me like tell you what's going on. Let me communicate. Yeah. I'd be like, I'm superhero NWB and I'm going about my business. You're either on this train or you're not. And that's not good for a relationship either, honestly. Like, it's a partnership. You're choosing to be in a partnership. So, so do it. And now it's become the greatest thing in the world. Now it's like, literally, they say relationships are work. I think they can be at times, but it's not work now. Like, no. I think you get to a point where it's beautiful. We're like almost like, it's like we have ESPN or something. We can like tell each other our thinking now. It's weird and creepy. I know. We answer the same things sometimes. She'll know when I'm like sad in a bad mood from like the other room. I'll be sleeping. I'll wake up. She'll be like, hey, I'm just checking on you. I can smell that you're in a bad mood. Yeah. I mean, everything in life takes work. Like, you don't get anything for free. You don't just stumble into like a magical relationship. Can you shit in front of your partner and have her shit in front of you? If no, you're not ready for a prep with your partner yet. Thanks for watching. What are you talking about? That's the level where you don't break up. I know, I'm kidding. If you can sit there and, because girls don't shit. Your eyes are green. Thank you. Welcome. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, it's very hot in here. It's very hot. You turn off the AC with these back lights on. Woo! Okay.